Hello everyone, welcome back. It is June the 1st of 2023 and I have a little video for you. And this is going back to Meghan and how to snag her prince. So bear with me just a little bit. I'm going to go back through a few things here. So first, bear with me for about minute 39 of the engagement interview where Meghan and Harry were talking with the interviewer. It's all right if we miss this part. You just go back.
But it was literally through her, and then we met once and then twice back to back, 2 dates in London. Last July, beginning of July, and then it was, I think, about 3, maybe 4 weeks later that I managed to persuade her to come and join me in Botswana, and we camped out with each other under the stars. She came and joined me for 5 days out there, which was absolutely fantastic. So then we were really by ourselves, which was crucial to me to make sure that we had a chance to get to know each other.
Yeah. But the friend who introduced you, was she trying to set you up?
Okay, yes, listen to this part.
It was a blind date.
And
it's so interesting because we talk about it now, and even then, because I'm from the States, you don't grow up with the same understanding of the royal family, and so while I now understand very clearly there's a global interest there, I didn't know much about him, and so the only thing that I had asked her when she said she wanted to set us up was, I have one question. I said, well, is he nice? Because if he wasn't kind, it didn't seem like it would make sense. And so we went and met for a drink, and then I think very quickly into that we said, well, what are we doing tomorrow? We should meet again.
What are we doing tomorrow? Let's meet again. And then it was like, right, diaries. We need to get the diaries out and find out how we're going to make this work, because I was off to Africa for a month. She was working, and we just said, right.
Okay, going back a moment, she said when they were getting set up that she didn't know much about him, and that she just asked her friend one thing, well, was he nice? Because if he wasn't kind, it just didn't seem worth it. So I remember when she made this big thing that she really didn't know much about him because there really weren't tabloids in the USA like there is over in the UK, which was totally false. And she was well aware of the tabloids, and she had even been pictured holding up different magazines. So now let me take you to a little interview that I just happened to catch because I was doing some research on Holly and Phil in the UK, and they were interviewing the author of a book called The Rules, which was recently updated in April. So she was on the show promoting that. So she just happened to mention, Holly asked her about Meghan. Isn't that how Meghan maybe captured Prince Harry? So let's watch this short video.
What is the truth about dating and marriage?
The rumour is that Meghan Markle used the rules with Prince Harry.
Well, she actually talked about the fact that she read the book in high school and college, and she said she didn't really believe she had to do all of it, but we think she did some of it. I mean, she said that she didn't know who he was, which is our rules for dating a celebrity. If you want to get a celebrity, pretend you don't know who he is, because that will spark his interest, because he's so used to girls throwing themselves at him.
Amazing.
So here, this is one of the co-authors of the book, The Rules, and she even talked about that Meghan used this book. So now let's just go over to, all right, Gracia. And then I've got a few more things to show you. So this is just going back when they were doing the timeline of their dating. It says July of 2016, Meghan and Harry meet. So when the future Duke and Duchess of Sussex meet, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were introduced by a mutual friend in July 2016, originally thought to be Marcus Anderson, also the director of Soho House, but who was later confirmed to be Violet Van Westenholz. Meghan said in an interview that before she met Harry, she didn't know much about him. The only thing that I had asked our mutual friend was, well, is he nice? According to Harry, he knew Meghan, the one from the very first time we met. After only 2 dates, Harry asked Meghan to accompany him on a trip to Botswana. All right. Now let's go on to something else. Then the Toronto Sun says, Meghan Markle's dating Bible and execs revealed. And this was May 2018. Meghan used to quote the rules all the time and really put it into practice with a number of her boyfriends, a friend told The Sun. The book, published in the 90s, was a guide for women who want marriage in the shortest time possible and offered rules that a woman should follow to find her Mr. Right. She was never without a boyfriend for more than 2 to 3 months and always striving to have someone by her side, the friend said. The book, written by Ellen Fine and Sherry Snyder, was a bestseller when it was first published in 1995, but also upset many feminists with its old-fashioned advice. Now, remember, she's always going on about being a feminist, and why would she want to go by and play these games and pretend like she's not into chasing the guy, or, isn't going to ask him out or be willing to pay for go Dutch on their meal when they have dinner. Some of the tips from the controversial dating Bible include: don't talk to a man first, don't ask him to dance, don't meet him halfway or go Dutch on a date, don't call him and rarely return his calls, don't see him more than once or twice a week. She reportedly took advice from the book while dating her ex-husband, film producer Trevor Ingleson. So she followed this book religiously. Some feminist she was. Markle's exes. It seemed Markle had some very diverse taste in men. Her exes reportedly include an unnamed Argentinian business tycoon from her days as an intern at the U.S. Embassy in Buenos Aires, college basketball star turned coach Steve Lepore, actor and screenwriter Sean Zakin, and scary movie actor and former P-star Simon Rex. A source told The Sun that during her stint at the U.S. Embassy in Buenos Aires in 2003, the then aspiring actress was told by a fortune teller that she would wed a man with curly red hair. The clairvoyant obviously failed to mention he'd be a prince. So Meghan, for all of her talk of being a feminist, was all into using any trick of the trade to be able to snag Harry. And what the lady who was the co-author said, if you run into celebrities or somebody that's a big name person, you definitely don't want to act like you know them or throw yourself on them. You want to be like that they're any normal person that you're meeting. And remember, Meghan in the interview said, well, I didn't need to read anything about him or be told because I was learning everything about him from him. She knew everything about the royals. Royal rules. Did Meghan Markle snag Harry by following dating Bible the rules? Top play hard to get tips in the book every single woman should read. So Prince Harry proposed to Meghan just 18 months after the pair started dating. So did her use of the book for tips.
We were still reading the rules. Do you remember that book? So this is very much like that, and all those different things they would say, like, be a creature unlike any other.
So that was Meghan, and I'll play it again, talking about the book that she read called The Rules, and one of the examples in it about how to be a mysterious creature. Let's watch this once more.
We were still reading the rules. Do you remember that book? So this is very much like that, and all those different things they would say, like, be a creature unlike any other.
So Meghan did read this book. Meghan did use this book, and it's been reported, and we found it at several locations, including a couple of, it was, 5 or 6 articles I could have put in here that they had sources where friends said that she read this book in high school or college and that she used the dating tips out of it. Remember this Vanity Fair? So I guess Meghan can say whatever she wants and act like she didn't know Harry, didn't know anything about him, just asked if he was kind. But the truth is, we know she did. She used the book called The Rules, and she played Harry, and that's how she captured him and snagged this guy who was just ripe for the picking, and was 36, 37, and ready to settle down, and who thought that the other girls in his life that he loved wouldn't stay with him because he was a British prince, and they didn't want to be part of this whole spotlight in the media. But I think that the reason why they didn't want to be with Harry, that might have been an excuse or an easy letdown, is because of who Harry was, his paranoia, his anger issues, his drug taking, drinking, all of those things, and just general immaturity. But when he met Meghan, Meghan played up to all of his faults and built him up and love bombed him to the point where he thought, I've got this perfect woman. And when he would talk about her, I mean, he was mesmerized with her, and I think really thought that this was the perfect partner in life. But Harry got played by a conniving, deceitful woman who knew that the royal family was of interest globally. She even says that in the interview. She said, well, I now know quite clearly that they were of global interest. She knew that all along. She had read books about Diana. Friends had said that how fascinated she was with Diana, and that she idolized her, and that they had stayed up and watched the wedding or gotten up early that morning to watch it. But we know exactly what she was about. So for anybody who thinks that she just randomly met him or was set up through a friend, she knew exactly who he was, and she knew exactly how to play him. So sorry, Harry. I'm hoping that you're waking up to this now, and that you'll look back and you'll be able to see with some sense of clarity exactly what happened to you.